Good morning, Kinder Scholars. Today we're going to be finishing the worksheet that we started yesterday. So for today's lesson, you will need again this worksheet that says Kinder Unit 7, First Grade Print Concepts, Guided Practice, Day 7. Okay, it's the one with the 7 right there on the top. Yesterday we did numbers 1 through 5. Today we're going to go ahead and finish that worksheet starting with number 6, which looks like this, and a picture of a little chipmunk right there with some words next to it. Again, we're going to start with number 6. Today's lesson is very similar to what we've been doing all week. We're going to again look for fiction books, nonfiction books, poetry, and how-to. Before we begin, let's do a quick review on each one of those. This time we're going to look at the anchor charts with it so you have those for support. Okay, the first book that we have to review is called Fiction. It's called what? Fiction. Say fiction. Good. A fiction book is something that is made up. Okay, fiction books are made up. Let's go ahead and remember our chant. Fiction is a made up story. One more time. Fiction is a made up story. For fiction books, there are 4 elements that we see over on the right. The first element is magic. The second element is an impossible situation, like picking up a house or a flying car. The third element is a monster or made-up creature, like an alien or unicorn. And the last element is animals doing people things, which are animals talking or walking or driving a car or wearing school clothing. Before we move on, let's go ahead and do each one of those elements with our chant, starting with the fiction. Ready? Fiction is a made-up story. The first element is magic. The second element is impossible situations. The third element is monsters or made-up creatures. And the fourth element is animals doing people things. Good job. The next book we're going to talk about is nonfiction, which we see the poster down below in the orange with the orange label. The chant for nonfiction, ready, is nonfiction teaches us about real things. One more time. Nonfiction teaches us about real things. Nonfiction books teach us about true information, like people, planets, animals, or plants. So, a nonfiction book will teach you information that is real. We again have a chant for this. Let's go ahead and do it together. Ready? Nonfiction teaches us about real things. Nonfiction teaches us about real things. If anything is real, we can write a book about it. So I could write a book about Miss T or Miss Adventure. That is real. I could write a book about my sweet doggy London. Say, hi, London. That's who was barking. That's my sweet girl. I could write a book about Casa Academy. Those are all real things. So if it's something that is real, we can write a book about it, and that will be nonfiction. Going back to our anchor charts, we're going to now look at the poetry, which is on the top. Poems are pieces of literature that we can find in a book like this one. And as I showed you yesterday, they are very short. They're not long. They're not going to take up the whole page. They're just a short piece of literature that we can read, and we see multiple pieces of poems in a book. So in this book, there's many different poems because they are so short. You can see on this page, we see 2 poems on that page because they are short. Poems, though, also, let me get that back there, sorry. One way to identify a poem is that it has words that rhyme. And we see on the top a picture of a cat and a hat. Remember, words that rhyme are words that have the same ending sound. So cat at, hat at. Another element of poems is rhythm. So when we read it, it kind of goes to a beat that we can tap out on a table or on our legs. We're singing it kind of in a way of reading it. Another element is repetition, so something that repeats over and over and over again. And the last element of a poem is emotions. They sometimes talk about somebody being happy, sad, angry, in love, or proud of something that they did. Okay, going down now to the how-to books, which is on the bottom in purple. How-to books are the last type of books that we're going to look at. We see on that poster that how-to books must teach us how to do something. And I have a picture. It's showing the gentleman how to draw, and he's got a spray can and some paper. He's going to draw something. So again, a how-to book teaches us how to do something. It will say how to in the name of the book. For example, if I wanted to learn how to draw a cat better, I might go to find a book that says how to draw cats, and it would teach me how to draw a cat so I can do that correctly. All right, now that we reviewed, we're gonna jump right into number 6. So again, you will need your piece of paper that we had yesterday with the number 7 on the top, and we're gonna go to number 6. Number 6 is asking us if the passage is fiction, nonfiction, poetry, or how-to. So this time we're gonna be looking at the passage. The passage are the words, okay, that were written by the author. So the passage we need now is the words. That's what we're gonna look at. Listen very closely so you can tell me if it's A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how-to. Alvin was so confused. He could not figure out where he put his shoe. Let's look at the picture for some support on this. Alvin is this little chipmunk right here. And we see he's got on a hat and some clothing, and his brother has on some clothing. And Alvin is feeling confused, scholars, because he doesn't know where he put his shoes. So this book is about a chipmunk named Alvin who can't find his shoe. Scholars, is this book fiction, nonfiction, poetry, or how-to? Go ahead and think about it for a second and make your choice. Okay, if you said this book is fiction, you're absolutely right. This is a made-up story. We know that Alvin is a chipmunk. He's an animal, and he's looking for his shoe. So that is how we know it's fiction. Let's go ahead and say that to somebody next to us, and then we'll write it. So we're going to tell people, or we're going to tell a person next to us, mom or dad, brother, sister, grandma, anybody helping us. We know this book is fiction because it's animals doing people things. Go ahead and tell somebody next to you. Okay, now let's write it. I know because animals doing people things. We need 4 words. First word, animals. A, a, n, I, I, m, l, s. Animals doing. D, you, ing. ing, animals doing people. P, e, p, l, last word, things. Th, ing, s, animals doing people things. Good job, scholars. Again, parents were writing phonetically for the sounds that we hear. You can certainly have your scholar write it correctly if you'd like, or if you were able to take a picture of the anchor charts or have one handy, then they can find the information on the anchor chart and follow it. For example, if you're able to take this picture and print it out or make one, you see at the bottom of the fiction element, it says animals doing people things, and your scholar can absolutely copy that and write it word for word. That is 100% okay as well in this enrichment packet. All right, let's go to number 7. Number 7 again is asking us about the passage. So it's not giving us a book. It wants me to look at only these words and use this picture to determine if it's A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how-to. Let's go ahead and listen to the words. Ready? Turtle, turtle, walk slow, slow. Turtle, turtle. Oops, sorry. Let me start again. Turtle, turtle, walk slow, slow, slow. Turtle has a smile wherever he may go. Moving this way, moving that way. Turtle, turtle, walk slow, slow, slow. All right, one more time. Ready? Turtle, turtle, walk slow, slow, slow. Turtle has a smile wherever he may go. Moving this way, moving that way. Turtle, turtle, walk slow, slow, slow. Okay. Did you think this is A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how to? Go ahead and circle your answer of what you think. Is this a book that's made up, a book teaching you about real things, a poem that has either rhyme, rhythm, or repetition, or D, a how-to book that's teaching you how to do something? Okay, scholars, here you wanted to circle the letter C for poetry. This book is this passage is a poem. We did not have a book, we had a small passage that was a poem. Now, I've been helping you tell me why it's a poem. I want to see if you can tell me. So think about what you heard that makes it a poem and tell somebody next to you, I know it's a poem because what does it have that a poem would have? Think again, listen again to the story and think what you hear that makes it a poem. Turtle, turtle, walks slow, slow, slow. Turtle has a smile wherever he may go. Moving this way, moving that way. Turtle, turtle, walks slow, slow, slow. Think about what makes it a poem. Go ahead and tell somebody what makes it a poem. All right, come back to Miss T. I know that this is a poem because it has repetition, words that repeat over and over again, and it has rhyme. Scholars, Miss T said, turtle, turtle walks slow, slow, slow at the beginning, and turtles, turtles walk slow, slow, slow at the end. So those words are repeating at the beginning and at the end. They're the same words, and I'm saying them over again. But I also heard rhyming words. Slow, go. Slow, oh, oh, go, oh, oh. Do they rhyme? Oh, yeah. So this is a poem because it has rhyming and repetition. Let's go ahead and write those two answers. All right, ready? The first one we're going to write is repetition. Ready? Sound it out with me. R, e, p, e, t, sh, n. And, sight word and, A-N-D, rhyme. R, I, M. Okay, so this book had this passage had repetition and rhyme, which is how we know it's a poem. Number 8, is this book fiction, nonfiction, poetry, or how to? Looking at the bottom, we see a book that says, I can read, Danny and the Dinosaur. Danny loved his pet dinosaur. He would ride the dinosaur all around town. He even decided to take the dinosaur to school with him. Scholars, this book is about a little boy who's got a pet dinosaur named Danny that he rides on and takes to school. Is this book A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how to? Go ahead and choose your answer. Okay, if you circled A, fiction, you're absolutely right. This book is made up. What in it, though, scholars, gives you the clue that it's fiction? Does it have magic, an impossible situation, monster or made-up creature, or animals doing people things? Go ahead and turn to somebody in your house or sitting next to you and tell them, I know this book is fiction because, and how you know. All right, come back to Miss T. How do we know this book is fiction, scholars? I know this book is fiction because it has an impossible situation. It has a pet dinosaur. We can't have pet dinosaurs, and we certainly can't ride them. So we're going to write, I know because it has an impossible situation. Let's go ahead and write it. I, t. Next word has, h, a, s. Next word, impossible. I. Sorry about that. I lost my camera. M. P. O. S. I. B. L. Last word, situation. I will help you spell this one because it's a little bit hard. Ready? S. I-T-U-A-T-I-O-N. Having a dinosaur is an impossible situation. Let's turn our paper over and go to number 9. Number 9 is asking if this book is fiction, nonfiction, poetry, or how-to. It is called Everything Pets. Owning a pet is a lot of responsibility, but it's also very rewarding. Pets can be great companions for people. Scholars, this book is about how to have a pet and what you need to do to take a pet. Is it A, nonfiction, A, fiction, A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how-to? Go ahead and circle your answer. Okay, if you said B, nonfiction, you're absolutely right. Having a pet is a real thing, okay? And it can give us a lot of information about having a pet, so we know that that is real. We're gonna go ahead and tell us how we know. I know because it teaches us about real things. Let's go ahead and write that. Ready? Teaches. T-E-E-E-E, ch-ch-ch, C-H-S. Teaches. Next word. Us, you, S. Next word, about. Again, that's a hard word. Ready? A, B, O, U, T. Real. Ready? Let's sound out real. R, E, L. Last one, last word, things. T-H, ing, I-N-G, S. It teaches us about real things like dogs. We know it is nonfiction. All right, number 10. This book is called Look Inside an Airport, okay? We want to know if this book is A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how-to. It's going to teach us about inside an airport. Let's listen to the words. Every year, people fly across the world on an airplane. Airports are very exciting. Each state has at least one airport, and even some states have many. Scholars, is this book A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how-to? Go ahead and make your choice. Okay, if you said that this book was nonfiction, B, you're absolutely correct. It is a nonfiction book. What I want you to do is tell somebody how you know. I know this book is fiction because... What makes it fiction? Miss T is being silly. I apologize. What makes it nonfiction? This book was nonfiction. What makes it nonfiction? I know it's nonfiction because. Think about our chant. Okay. If you said this book is nonfiction because it teaches us about real things, you're absolutely right. Just like the other book taught us about real things, about pets, this book is going to teach us real facts or real things about an airport. So we're going to write teaches us about real things. Again, ready? First one. T, E-E-E-E, C-H, S. Next word, about. A, B, O, U, T. Oh, I'm sorry. Teaches us. I apologize. Scholars, we're going to rewind. After teaches, we're going to put the word us. U, S. So we're going to say teaches us now about. A, B, O, U, T. Real, R, E, L, things. Th, ing, I-N-G, S. So it should look just like what you wrote about on number 9. It's teaching you about real things. Last one for today, number 11. Is this book fiction, nonfiction, poetry, or how-to? This book is called Everything Weather. Extreme weather happens all over the world. Meteorologists study the weather. They are experts on topics like rain, snow, and tornadoes. Scholars, this is a book about weather. Think about it. Is it A, fiction, B, nonfiction, C, poetry, or D, how-to? Go ahead and choose your answer. Okay. If you circled B, nonfiction, you're absolutely right. Everything Weather is a nonfiction book. Turn to somebody next to you and tell them how you know. I know this book is nonfiction because, think about your chant and tell your mom or dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa. Go ahead. Okay. If you said, I know this book is nonfiction because it teaches us about real things, give yourself a pat on the back. You're absolutely right. Way to go, scholar. Let's go ahead and write teaches us about real things. Don't let me forget the word us this time, okay? First word, teaches. T-E-E-E-E, ch-ch-ch, C-H-S. What's the next word that I told you not to let me forget? Us. Ready? You, S, about, A-B-O-U-T, real, R, E, L, last word, things, T-H, ing, I-N-G, S. All right, scholars, that's all we're going to do today. We have finished it. Again, as an extension to this activity, go ahead and find some books in your home and see if you can tell me, or not tell me, but tell your mom or dad or somebody in the house if they are fiction about a made-up story, nonfiction about real things, poetry, or how-to. And this time, tell them why you know. Maybe you see magic or an impossible situation. Maybe it's teaching you about something that is real, or maybe it's a poem that has words that rhyme and repetition and are short. I hope you have a wonderful day, scholars, and I will see you, or you'll see me tomorrow for our last lesson of the week. Take care.